Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Randall.
I'm Michelle.
This is Fluminton Famous, and we have gotten back from ScrubFest. Now, at the time of recording, we're about a month after ScrubFest, and we had a really good time there. There were some really good speakers, really good content put out. And if you at all are interested in permaculture, homesteading, self sustainability, this is the event that you need to go to because there is a wealth of knowledge put out at this event. Not only that, there's a nursery. So as you were getting these speaks on permaculture, you can go right over to Scrubland Farms Nursery, which is he's the one that hosts Sam hosts this event. You can go right over and buy all the plants that are talked about.
This year, I think that there's a lot more vendors than there has been previously.
Yeah, this event continues to grow. This was the
Yes.
third time the event was held. And every year there's more stuff. There's more vendors.
Yep.
There's
Every year it gets bigger and bigger.
more knowledge given, more people speaking, and it's diverse too. It's not the same speakers every time.
Right.
happens to be this was our second time speaking at the event, and I
Mhm.
greatly appreciate the invite and consideration of asking me to speak at the event. But there are like one or two other people that spoke that have spoke there before, and then there were some new people.
Mhm.
All right, first off, the very first topic was foodscaping your yard. What a more perfect topic at a permaculture event than
Mhm.
foodscaping your yard. This actually has happens to be near and dear to me because I've done extensive research on instead of putting in perennial flowers, hedges, and stuff like that in our yard, we've tried to incorporate a lot of food bearing plants into our landscape and not so much the decorative uh, landscape plants.
Mhm.
Like any place that someone would put like a barberry plant or some kind of hedge, I would always consider putting in blueberries.
Or artichoke.
Yeah, and use that to kind of decorate your landscape with something that
Mhm.
you can harvest food from. And instead of the maple tree in the front yard, put in something like an apple tree.
Mhm.
So, really good topic there. Mark Bailey always does a wonderful job doing his talks. He puts out a wealth of knowledge on that topic, and you couldn't have picked a more perfect person to talk about foodscaping than Mark and Amanda.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. The next guy that spoke happens to be a very enthusiastic speaker and a very enthusiastic person to get to know. So I got to just talk with Florida Bullfrog, and he just authored a book, Survival Chickens, and he went into the to details about how he come up with the idea of the survival chickens. And if you really want to know the entire theme behind survival chickens, you've got to check out his book, Survival Chickens. And it talks about these birds that we raise on the homestead are typically your average book that you can open up a chicken catalog and find and talk about, but you're not going to find survival chickens that roost wild, that forage, that avoid predators, and they're basically just a wild chicken that live on your homestead.
Mhm.
And that's that's something that nobody ever talks about is what Georgia Bullfrog talked about. And he was in such an enthusiastic speaker. I really enjoyed listening
Yeah.
to him speak.
Yeah. Beautiful chickens too.
Also, Tommy Van Horn spoke on beekeeping. Beekeeping is something that every homesteader, permaculture person, they need to consider having bees on their property unless you're definitely ill.
Mhm.
We don't want you getting going into anaphylactic shock from getting bees. But and I happen to be allergic to bees, but I'm only mildly allergic. And I've always been a beekeeper. I've been a beekeeper for over 20 years experience.
I guess I'm not allergic because I got stung and didn't even wep up. So,
Yeah. But the amount of pollination that bees offer, and it also provides a food for you on your homestead. You know, bees are always providing food, and so that's just one more thing that you can always add to your homestead.
mhm.
And
We had bees at one time. Right now, we currently don't have bees, but we're going to get back into having bees in the next year.
yeah, I spoke with my local beekeeper who lives across the street from me, and I was like, man, they could put a man on the moon, but they can't get rid of the hive beetle. And the hive beetle is the biggest struggle
Yeah.
in beekeeping.
It wiped us out.
Yeah, it always wipes us out. I'd rather deal with bears than the hive beetles.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, at 12:45 on deck was Rachel the Good. Rachel the Good just finished and published her first book. Now, everybody knows who David is, and he talks about growing all these permaculture foods that nobody ever heard of
hmm
that do very well on their own. And there's some stuff that he grows that you can't really find in your average vegetable catalog, and so a lot of people have difficulty trying to prepare these foods after they've grown them. And so Rachel has written a cookbook
hmm
on how to prepare all these these foods.
Homegrown, homestead, family cooking.
Yeah, so
That's the name of our cookbook.
check out that cookbook. And I haven't picked that one up yet, but that's one we're going to be adding because just being friends with David, I'm also growing some of these weird things like yams and cassava. So we need to know how to best prepare those. Okay, then after Rachel spoke, there was a little bit of a break. And then next on deck was Green Dean, and he authored the book, Eat the Weeds.
Which I think he should change his name to Green Bean. Just easier to say than Green Bean.
I'm sure a lot of people have mistakenly called him Green Bean. But he is very unique. He has a book published, Eat the Weeds, and how to forage around your yard, around the woods, and eat what's growing all around you. A lot of people spray herbicides to control the weeds that are in their lawn and around the perimeter of their property and try to get rid of it. Well, Green Dean actually explains to you which weeds are edible, which ones are nutritious, and what they provide to your diet.
That's helpful.
Yeah, and I don't know of anybody else that corners that little niche better than what he does. So if you're interested in harvesting the natural foods that are around your property, check out his book, Eat the Weeds. And that's another one we're going to be adding to our collection too, because there are a lot of things out there in our yard.
That's right. Yeah.
So
it'd be nice to know.
All right. So after that was my topic, how to create a fruit orchard. And I really enjoyed this topic because growing fruit trees is a passion of mine. And there's so much knowledge to be shared about growing fruit trees. It started off with me doing my normal spiel with my notes. And essentially what it turned into was a big question and answer session. And it really got the audience engaged and got their questions answered rather than just sit there and listen to me lecture and go on and on and on. I might be talking about some stuff they knew about, might be talking about some stuff they haven't known about. But when we can get together and we can, in a small audience setting, answer every person's questions that raise their hands.
That's right.
That's the value of going to these little events like this, is you can get in front of these knowledgeable people and get your questions answered.
Right.
And I brought some notes. And I've looked over these notes about 10 times before I got all the way through the notes, just to make sure that I stay on point. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, so establishing a backyard orchard. Everybody here, I assume, is interested in establishing a backyard orchard. What constitutes an orchard?
More than one tree.
More than one? That's good, that's good. Well, I looked it up because I didn't know. It's 5. 5 is what they say is, if you have 5 trees in an area, you can kind of call it a backyard orchard. I'm like, cool, sounds legit, right? All right, moving on. Now, what is one of the goals of establishing a little backyard nursery? Well, a lot of people live in the city, they have little small backyards about the size of this tent. Does anybody live in that current environment right now? Or is most people on homesteads? Okay, good. Good. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of people are planting 5 or more little trees in a little backyard, and they say, that's my little orchard over there. And you're totally right. That's what your little orchard is. And it was a really good time. All right, so that was what my topic was. And then there were some raffle giveaways. And then David the Good spoke on how to plant your Florida food forest this weekend. And everybody always loves to hear David talk. He's such an enthusiastic speaker. And I don't think anybody knows any more about the subject of planting a food forest
That's
than David.
true. Yeah.
That's what people pay to come see, as they come to see
That's right.
David speak and share his knowledge on this. But while other people were speaking, I got a chance to walk around and tour Sam's nursery. also got to walk around Sam's fig orchard and look at all his figs that he has in his collection. And anybody that's watching this and is not a subscriber and follow us on our videos, you probably don't know that I'm a fig collector, and I have about 140 varieties at the filming of this in our collection. And so, man, I can always appreciate walking around Sam's fig orchard and seeing what he's added and seeing how well his trees are doing. And man, he has some trees that are just loaded with fruit. Even so late in the season as middle of October, his trees are still in full swing. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the little video of the highlights of ScrubFest 3. We hope to see you at ScrubFest 4. Go ahead and make plans now. I don't think the dates have been released, but keep an eye out. I also want to put out a little plug for David's little app that he does called School, SKOOL. Head over there, get plugged into that, and there's a group of people over there that, man, what a wealth of knowledge is being shared over there, and that's a really good place to go and plug into what David's doing with his food forest. And go over and visit Sam at Scrubland Farms and his nursery and check out everything that he's got that he's selling over there. It's a big source for permaculture plants. Most everything over there is edible. I'm not sure that I saw anything that wasn't edible that Sam had. I really enjoy it. Beautiful, beautiful nursery underneath.
Beautiful open air nursery.
Yeah, and it's all set underneath these shade trees, these oaks. And man, yeah. Sam has done a wonderful job with that nursery, and I'm envious with the way he has that thing set up.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, so go check out those two places. We'll hope to see you at ScrubFest 4. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, keep growing.
Keep building.
And always keep adventuring. And together,
we're Flomaton famous.
We'll see you next time.